Hey friends, what's happening? So I just got off the call with my movement and mobility coach, Jonathan. And so we have weekly or bi-weekly sessions because, I'm still working on getting my back in proper alignment and working on some other things that were injury related. But what I want to talk about now, because we kind of discussed this in our session now and also in the one a couple of weeks ago, is that I have this issue where, and that's the reason why I keep having injuries, and it's that I push myself a lot. And I do that in many areas of life. And when I do it too hard, either my body or my soul or outside circumstances, they show me, Connie, no. And so they show me my limitations, or they show me my boundaries. They show me where I need to be more gentle or gentler with myself, where I need to be more patient with myself and kinder with myself. Those are all things that I've been working on my whole life because, those are my learnings in so many ways. Patience is massive for me. Being kind and compassionate with myself, huge. And I know so many of you out there watching this have the same sort of challenges in life. And so one reoccurring thing for me has been injuries. And right now I'm recovering from an injury that I got in LA a few weeks ago. I was walking on the street and I was entering a car park. And as you enter the car park, there were these hooks. Man, it's so windy. It's been super stormy the last couple of days. So anyway, I was entering the car park and on the ground, and I didn't see that, there were these hooks that come out when a car tries to enter through the exit, right? And they basically damage your tires. And I was in flip-flops. I'd just come from yoga, and I don't want to be too graphic, but I stepped onto one of those hooks right into my foot, and that wasn't actually the bad thing. It was bleeding and stuff, but it healed really quickly. But as that happened, I must have twisted out my hip, and I pulled a muscle. And this has been a few weeks now, and I could barely walk for a couple of days, and again, this is taking way longer than I thought it would. And it's been very frustrating because I like to exercise daily. Yoga is my life. And before that, I pulled a muscle in this shoulder, and then I pulled a muscle in this shoulder, and that took weeks to heal. Then I had a chronic injury on my wrist that was actually a surf injury, like maybe almost 2 years ago now. And I didn't let it heal properly and started doing yoga too early, and that turned into something very chronic and painful. And then I have a little thing on my knee, which is kind of gone now, but those are like the most recent injuries that I've had in the last couple of years. And literally one was healed or kind of healed, and then something else would happen. And so it's been this really long journey for me of learning and relearning the lessons. And now that I'm working with Jonathan on my mobility and movement, and also just generally body awareness, connecting deeper into my body, it's beautiful work that I do with him. If you're interested, I'll put his details below the video. And it's been so fascinating because I've become so aware in all the different ways that I push myself really hard. And today he asked me what those reasons might be and where this habit of pushing myself hard comes from. And it's not something that I haven't been aware of or conscious of. I have been. It just was another good reminder as we were talking about it you know, what's been going on for me. And essentially, you know, as I was growing up and I was more of a daddy girl, and he was pushing me quite hard to do all sorts of sports and in school and all of that, and because that was the way that he grew up. It was all about discipline, it was all about pushing yourself and going harder and stronger and better and bigger. And in so many ways, I'm really grateful for that too, because it allows me today to have a certain level of discipline to stay healthy, to get a lot of work done, to, you know. But on the other hand, and I see this in myself, I see this also in many other people that are very similar to me, you know, when having this type A kind of personality, I don't even want to say I'm an overachiever, but I do have a bit of a type A personality in the way that, you know, I just constantly pushing myself and not feeling I'm good enough just the way I am, or going at a normal speed, you know. Also because my brain works really fast and there's so much stuff going on all the time. So anyway, so that's how I grew up, right? Always kind of pushing myself harder and harder and wanting to be better and better. And then also through, when I started out doing yoga, I discovered Jivamukti and Ashtanga and pretty early on. And so for anyone who knows yoga and the different yoga styles and the different yogis, Jivamuktis, they push themselves pretty hard. And then I did my yoga teacher training, and that's when I experienced my first sort of chronic injuries. And so anyway, I have this inside of me, this pushing. But what I really want to kind of point out in this video is that how do we find this balance between pushing ourselves and being kind to ourselves, but still growing and moving forward? Because I feel like that is kind of always the challenge, right? And this, not only when it comes to, you know, moving and exercise and working out, but also many other areas of our lives, especially also business, for example, where, you know, I'm a huge fan of pushing myself in the way that I can grow. I love growth. I love evolving. I love really dipping into my deepest potential. And at the same time, it's like, you know, because that also means that I have to face some fears, or I have to overcome this initial hurdle, you know, and this initial mountain of, and I also feel like that a lot of people give up too early, right? And at the same time, it's like, okay, when is it time to give up? And when is it time to keep going and to keep pushing? And I think that ties into also the concept of masculine energy and feminine energy. The masculine, the more pushing, hustling, and the feminine energy, you know, the more manifesting one, energy, flow, play, self-care, and self-compassion. And so how do I bring this together? What do I do, for example, when I had to face this question a lot in the last few years, but what do I do if I don't feel like showing up in my business? What do I do if, you know, there's something that I want to do, but I'm so scared, but how much do I push myself to get over that fear, or when is it okay to just let that be and just be scared, you know? What do I do when I'm going through a really hard time, or when I'm just not feeling doing something because it's not in the flow, but that also means that I'm not going to be showing up? How do I find this balance of push and easing into it, or just surrendering and letting it go? And I don't think that there is one definite answer to this. I do think that we all have to constantly check in with ourselves. And I sometimes forget that, especially when it comes to moving my body. I know in business by now, because I have experienced a couple of burnouts since I started being an entrepreneur 6 or 7 years ago. And I know exactly, more or less exactly, when I need to just step back and like take it easy and slow down, because I know if I keep going, I'm gonna get sick. That's usually the best sort of indicator that you're slowly burning out, that you went too hard, that you're running on empty. And that's why all these really healthy habits that I have, meditation, moving my body daily, healthy diet, and generally a healthy lifestyle is so important for me, because it helps me keeping myself in check as I want to create a lot of things and do a lot of stuff every day and change the world. And it helps me a lot to keep everything in balance. I still have to learn a lot when it comes to, exercising my body, and when it comes to injuries, because that's kind of like a bit of a burnout as well, I think. Just my body showing me, Connie, can't you listen, just chill, slow down, relax. And so I think that the best way to find your own answer is to always come back to your body. And the more you meditate, the more you do yoga, the more you incorporate practices into your life that let you connect to your body and to what's going on, and to learn how to feel emotions, feelings, but also into your body where what's going on, the more you know whether it's a fear you need to push through, or whether you tried and it's just not for you and it's time to let go. I feel like in the end, you are the answer. You have the answers within you. But those answers, they might not be up here. They might be somewhere in here. And so the quieter you become, the more you can hear. And the quieter and more still you become, the more you can feel the messages from your body. And our body always knows, always, in any situation. We just forgot, unlearned to listen to it and hear its messages. And so, for me it's been a long journey to, for one, embrace my feminine energy, right? Because I'm generally, naturally, maybe more my masculine energy in many ways and in many areas of life. And then it's also now always the challenge of, I don't want to call it a challenge, it's a dance. It's a dance of these two energies and constantly feeling into them. Where am I? What does this situation in my life need from me now? What do my body, my heart, my soul, what do they need right now? Do they need me to be more my masculine energy, maybe more my feminine? Do I need to speed things up and push through and hustle and crush it? Or is it time to, go into more that feminine energy of reflection and self-compassion and taking care of myself and slowing things down? So, I really hope this video gave you some hints, some insights, and maybe it provided you with some space for your own reflection. and that's it. Whew. Thank you so much for watching. Share any thoughts or ideas, suggestions you might have with me in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel. All that kind of stuff, that YouTubers say. And I'll see you tomorrow. Next video. Thanks for watching. Bye. Mwah.